Editors formed in Birmingham in 2002 and have released 6 studio albums, including the UK #1 and End Has a Start. The band have just released their first best of, Black Gold. And ahead of a big UK tour, I got to chat to Russell Leach, Editors' bassist from a band's inception. Enjoy. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, all is good.
Good. How are you?
Yeah, very well. How do you get it going into your computer?
I use a really antiquated method. I have a digital multi-track, which I've had for making music and stuff. And so I've got from my mobile phone, I've got a splitter, which has got a mic and a headphone cable.
Yeah.
So the headphone cable is going into like a red and black jack socket, which is going into 2 channels of a multi-track.
Okay.
And
good,
then from a mic side of the splitter, I've got a pair of earphones that have got an inline mic.
Yeah.
And then I've got a headphone socket coming out of a multi-track so I can hear you through a multi-track. And then I've got a microphone plugged into a multi-track. And so I've got the inline earphones draped over the microphone that I'm talking into.
Yeah.
There's got to be a more sensible way of doing this. And then
it sounds that way, but I just I never know how it works if you were to do it off a mobile phone. So because everyone usually does an ISDN line, don't they? But obviously there must be another way because it does work for like radio and stuff like that, doesn't it? So
yeah, I'm just not sure I've got the resources to.
Yeah.
And then I have to burn discs off this thing, and then a friend transfers them to Dropbox for me.
Wow,
so then I re-import it into an app on my iPad to edit the episode.
Wow.
Thanks for doing this so early.
No, that's all right. No problem. I had a little bit of hassle yesterday, and then my phone started going off in the back, and I was like, oh, I know what this is, and I've just forgotten because I'm driving her because, she had to cover somebody in rugby, which is, but she works over in Coventry, and we're in Birmingham, so it's a bit of a hassle.
Yeah,
every day.
We might as well start. I was going to ask you to explain to our listeners what happened yesterday, because I think I ended up being very funny.
It was a bit weird because I ended up taking my wife to work, and I then explained to you that I'd had to do that because all the trains were messed up, and so I had to take her to rugby. And you thought she was a rugby player, but she's not. She's a brain surgeon. So I had to put her off and then explain that, and it wasn't the best explanation. So, but it's all good.
You know, I didn't actually think she was a rugby player.
Okay, yeah.
It's because you worded it as had to drive my wife to work to rugby this morning, so it's to work to rugby. So I was like, so that's why I said your girlfriend's a professional rugby player, and I put Chortle.
There we go. Yeah, my phrasing's got terrible over the years. It's the modern phones that make you dumber, I think.
And then I even said, how is her real job cooler than the fake misunderstanding one?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So you thought I was being serious. This adds another layer to it.
Yeah. I was just in confusion and all over the place.
What confused me is I'm sure you described her as your girlfriend when you phoned me.
I still call her my girlfriend. We've only been married for about 5 months.
Right, okay. Because that's why I then said, also I'm impressed that you got married between the phone call this morning and the text message.
Yeah. I find it weird saying wife. I don't know why.
I thought it might be a rock star thing where like management tell you, don't say you're married because we'd like to give the impression that you're available like somehow or something.
Oh, no, nothing like that. We're all family men, so yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
Well,
settle down with a cat.
Congratulations on getting married.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good day. We had a lot of fun, and yeah, it was nice to have all the band there, all their families, and yeah.
Did the band play?
Oh no. I would not want to inflict that on them, and yeah, to have a bit of just have let them have a fun day.
Yeah.
Um, so little DJ in the evening. We tend to refuse wedding requests, or some people even ask to come up on stage and propose, and I don't know. I just feel that's a bit weird.
I'm not
I
sure
mean,
Bullets is the ideal first dance, to be fair, either.
yeah. Uh, yeah, first dance. I don't know what we'd have as a first dance song, really. I'm sure there might be something. No Sound But the Wind is a track that a lot of people play in Belgium, but tends to be at funerals. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, that's the one that comes across. But yeah, that's quite the opposite from a wedding.
Yeah. So as we speak, Black Gold, the first editor's best of, came out today.
Yeah, out today.
So are you a sort of person? Have you already gone on to Spotify or Apple to check it's there?
Not this morning, no, but I will go and have a little gander at it. I tend to, usually if I'm about, I won't be today because I'm heading down south. But I'll go around the shops and just have a little look.
Nice.
It's nice to see. Like, I really like the artwork.
It's
And
beautiful.
when that's hanging up in a shop, or even on the tube and things like that. I saw it last week on the tube. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's a nice little thing.
It does look cool. So you decided on a best of as opposed to a singles collection.
Yeah, I don't know. The wording's weird because we obviously called it Black Gold. Um, we don't really have, a whole greatest hits, if that's because I don't know if the majority of them didn't really go into the charts that high.
Yeah.
But they did in other countries.
Huh.
So we had to kind of sum it up for the, Europe and the UK, and show people that we're still here, because obviously the first couple of albums were really successful in the charts in the UK.
Yeah.
And then it kind of changed, and then other places like Italy, for example, on the fourth album, A Ton of Love was a really big single there. That album was, and things like Ocean of Night were big in France. So that's why it's kind of a best of, our best of, rather than greatest hits.
Yeah. Do you look? I mean, nowadays you've got access to sort of streaming stats. You can see even, charts
Yeah.
have become less relevant. Does that
Yeah.
factor in? Do you look at the stats in deciding what to put on?
Not really. I think it came together quite quickly. I mean, when we were talking about it, the label wanted we got approached with a lot of different ideas for a best of, and it was ending up at like 2 CDs worth of tracks, and then it's like, well, that's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
My idea of a best of would be like The Cure, Greatest Hits, or Depeche Mode. But then we were like, well, I want it to be something more like New Order's Substance, which was, that really that was a good summing up, a summary even of, where they were at that point. So I'm full of cold. Just to have something that summed up the 6 albums, because obviously there was the first 3 albums with Chris, our original guitarist.
Yeah.
And then we've done 3 with the, newer members, even though they've been here for 7 years and done 3 albums with us. And it's a good kind of, comma to where we are at this point.
Sure. Is it difficult? You can kind of divide the band into 2 eras, I guess, with Chris and without.
Yeah.
Is it difficult recontextualizing the early stuff with Chris in with the newer stuff? Does it raise you've been in it from the start, as has Tom, so it's not, it's all part of your careers, but is that a weird thing to do? Is that sort of a consideration? Did you think about doing it chronologically maybe, or was there those kinds of discussions?
Yeah, we didn't want it to be chronologically organised, and that's why there's 3 new songs on it, because we wanted to obviously appeal to people. It's a reminder that we're still here, and it's also to try and invite some new people into the band and show them what we have done. I mean, all the work that we did with Chris was great. It just ran out of steam after album 3. It was we really did try for a year and a half to make a record with him, and it was a year and a half of our lives which just were getting more miserable. I remember just myself and Ed were in the rehearsal room one day, and Tom had left his vocal on the computer, and we were doing the music, and Chris had left, and I was just like, we can't do this anymore. Something's got to give here. We need to have a sit down. So yeah, and then obviously spoke to Tom and decided to ask Chris that we didn't want to work with him anymore. So yeah, otherwise it was just that's it. They finished the band. And that's why we continued. And weirdly, we had the biggest show of our careers to date booked in, and that's why Justin and Elliott joined the band initially to fill in for that show. And we didn't want just a guitarist to fill in for Chris. We wanted, because it's pretty daunting, isn't it? That's the new guy. And I liked it how I'd actually been to see The Cure with Elliott earlier that year at the Beacon Theatre, and they did their first 3 albums in full. And in between each album, they changed the lineup because it obviously expanded to a 5 for the second one, then a 4 for the third. And I thought, yeah, that'd be good if we had a keyboardist and then a guitarist. And then it's not going to be so daunting for the person coming in to play guitar, and it's going to change up the band, and we can fill out different songs differently. So that's how it worked out, and we went on and played Verta 2012, and yeah, it was a success.
Yeah. You've done exactly the same thing as Def Cab for Cutie, because they had a guitarist called Chris who left, and then they replaced him with a guitarist and a keyboardist. So
yeah.
So I'm guessing Chris has to sign off on the project still, though, if his stuff is on there. Is that how it works still?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we don't really have a relationship with him anymore. He speaks to Rob and Jackie, who are our managers.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's fine with it, to be honest. He still gets a nice royalty check every year for us being out, so it's okay. To be honest, it was at the edge of the cliff, and he was pushed rather than decided to jump. So yeah, I think everyone's happier, and I know that he's happy where he is in living upstate in New York. It's all good.
Yeah, cool. So you're doing an arena tour this time?
There's a couple of arenas, yeah.
Okay.
Scaled arenas. So yeah, we're a good size, large theatre academy band. And we've stayed that way for a long time, which is great, and really appreciate that from the fan base. And I think that's one thing that we do realise as we've got older is, we do appreciate our fans, because I guess without them we aren't anything. So, they've stuck with us, and they're quite loyal, and in a very, music changes very quickly. The next thing's always around the corner. So yeah, and we just thought, for this tour, let's go out and play some bigger shows and put on a show and make it a gothic celebration.
My friend Kay is a big fan and has seen you a few times, and she feels a tad apprehensive about it being Wembley this time. So yeah, I guess, can you defend the decision? Not that you have to, but
I mean, we've played Brixton Academy a lot, and we love that venue. It's great. And that would have been the other choice, really. That or Royal Albert Hall or something like that. But yeah, we just thought we'd put it in there as we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. So
yeah. I think I've only seen the band once, and that was with the second album, and that was Brixton Academy. Which was it was a powerful show. So I'm guessing the live show's probably changed quite a bit since then.
Yeah, we play for quite a while, and the thing is, we do arenas on the continent. So we'll play the Sport Palais, which is as big as the O2. It's actually bigger than the O2 in Belgium, or the Ziggo in Amsterdam.
Right.
Done basketball arenas in Italy and things like that. So we're a bit of a funny band that when we do go out to places, we play theatres and we play some arenas. So yeah, we have to get used to going in between the big and the small.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Can I ask about a couple of specific tracks on the best of? Just
Sure.
Anything you want to tell me about them? I've just picked 3 that I really like, and they're probably really obvious ones. Bullets, which I guess was your first single.
That's the first single. Yeah, I remember when we had that song at university, and we'd had like a publishing guy come sit in on one of our rehearsals. I think we'd had like a review on teletext, and that's where we'd seen it. Yeah,
brilliant.
So yeah, and teletext was kind of a big thing. John Earls. It was like, yeah, we got reviewed on teletext. I remember reading the reviews, and then that then you could kind of get a little back pager in the NME, and that's how things progressed. But yeah, we'd had just a little bit of interest, and I remember him coming up, and because he'd heard this song, and that was the one for him. And obviously said I'll stay in touch, and then we had a gig down in Birmingham at the Flapper that I'd booked, and that's where we'd met Rob and Jackie, our managers, because they were the promoters there. So that song was the one that I think everyone, has gone, oh yeah, this is a band that could be a proper band. Not that an unsigned band isn't a proper band, but take that leap into being a career, to have records out. And yeah, Rob and Jackie said you should move to Birmingham because we can put you on gigs, and you can learn your craft. It's got a good little scene going on, which it did. And then we always thought that we were ready with whatever songs we had, and we're like, yeah, we're definitely ready. And they said, no, you need to write more. And over that next year, we wrote Munich and Things in the Factories and Open Your Arms, and then suddenly it looked like a more cohesive album.
Yeah.
But then when we put out Bullets at the beginning of the year, Zane Lowe picked up on it straight away. He was always a really big fan of ours and really supported us. Actually, if there's anybody that may be responsible, I think, for breaking the band in the UK, I'd mostly give him the credit, because he really did hammer our tracks. And I just remember hearing that on the evening session. It wasn't called that, was it, with Zane Lowe? But I remember we just had the radio on, and then that radio compression on your song just makes things sound so different.
Yeah. And
I just remember we were just all standing there, and then as soon as it started playing, all walking around in weird circles, going, "Oh, this is weird." And then he played it again. It was one of those. It was like, wow, that was great. Then we went to our little rehearsal room, our lock-up, emptied the dehumidifier, which we had to do every 2 days. Yeah, everything was so damp, and then started practicing for the next gig.
Yeah, it's astonishingly visceral. It still sounds great. I can see why you would have played it twice, because it's not very long either, and it's just it like smacks you in the face and then is gone. Have you any idea what it's about?
Not really. It's a bit nonsense.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's preserve the mystique then.
Yeah. I think Tom's. A lot of people can always pick on Tom's lyrics. I remember we used to read like Drowned in Sound, and it's like, you don't need this disease. It's like, well, what disease do you need? Would be a response, and it's like, yeah, well, it's not saying that, is it? So
it's like the Thin Lizzy's jailbreak. It's like, tonight there's going to be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. It's like, well, try the jowl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sometimes, I think REM was one of the biggest influences on Tom, and his writing, and that type of song really, it is raw. It is like an early REM song, and yeah.
Well, it's not, and it has discernible lyrics. Like some of Stipe's early stuff, it's like I'm not even sure he had proper words for some of it. It's just kind of sounds.
Exactly. When we did Orange Crush, we ended up playing that on stage with them in Helsinki.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "Oh yeah, you can if you want to take the megaphone, you can give that a go." And I said, "Oh, I think I know the words to the middle bit of Orange Crush." And do you? Oh, I said, "I think so." He goes, "I don't even know what they are." so it's like, okay, right, they're just there. It's just nonsense.
Brilliant. Okay, another song, The Racing Rats.
The Racing Rats, yeah. That was a fully formed demo from Tom when we went into the studio with Jackknife Lee. Jackknife Lee really helped bring that second record together because we toured the first album really hard. I don't know, a year and a half fully on the road. I remember we rented this house in Birmingham for 9 months and we were there for 4 days. That's just, we were just out on the road. It was like, right, you're going to Germany, you're doing a little club tour, and it's fine, you're in your early 20s, you've got nothing else to do. Let's go out and go and see the world and get all these different amazing cultures. And it got really tiring though, and it is hard on your brain a little bit because you get back and what do I do? I'm used to being having a regimented life. So the second album, obviously, everyone was that quick. And you got about 4 songs, and Racing Rats was one of those. Became a really big song for us across Europe. Remember playing that in like Pukkelpop, 2008, and then suddenly the kind of the Belgium thing gained momentum. I think that song is a bridge between the kind of earlier post-punk roots and then a bigger, more a fuller sound. It kind of bridges that for me. Still got the riff, but it's a little bit slower. It's got a piano on it, and the band started to get more expansive.
Yeah, that second record sounds great.
He did a really good job, Jackknife, for the place that we were at, and pulling things together and helping Tom write, helping us all write, really. He's a very good producer at that.
All right, one more then. A Ton of Love.
Yeah, A Ton of Love. This one, this is when we were obviously making the 4th album, which was the difficult album, and it's the one I think that if you played all of our records back to back, it's the one that does stick out a little bit. It sounds different. It's quite basic in its performance because it is stripped back. And when we worked with Jakir over in Nashville, which was a lot of fun, and it was good to just escape the UK really with the band and just go and decamp there. We recorded it in Blackbird Studios, which is an incredible studio. The detail of the rooms is amazing. Who's the big country star with Garth? What's his name?
Brooks.
So yeah. I was going to say Cruz, the footballer. It's his sound guy, and he basically bought Abbey Road and put it over there.
Yeah.
I remember going into there. I listened to Michael Jackson's Thriller in 5.1 surround sound. It's the only place that's got it. They mixed it there, but it never came out.
Yeah.
And so I went into their mix room and listened to that in there, and it was incredible. Did about 3 songs. But going back to A Ton of Love. It was. It was just we knew that would be the single on the record, and it's a funny one. That's the one that really took off in Italy for us. They like that one.
Just finally, have you ever looked at Tom Smith's Wikipedia page?
maybe a couple of times, but not like
there's a section humanitarian efforts, which is like, oh wow,
yeah,
and you look at it, and it mentions you and him running the London Marathon. You raised over 10 grand, but it also says Smith's Converse All Stars basketball shoes worn at 2007's V Festival went on sale on internet site eBay in a charity auction to raise money for MAG. They raised £52, slightly more than the RRP for a new pair.
Wow, there you go. Yeah,
which is.
Do you know what? I don't know who edits our personal Wikipedia pages, but some people have tried to edit mine because it's a bit boring. Because I think mine says that I directed the video for Bones. So if ever I do an interview, they go, "Are you going to direct any more videos?" It's like, I didn't direct this video for Bones. I basically had a camcorder, filmed a load of footage whilst we were on tour, and someone compiled it all together. That's not directing a music video. Yes, it's on my Wikipedia page, and people ask me about it all the time. And it's been tried to be edited, and the picture tried to be edited as well, because it was a picture from me in 2007, and weirdly, the second album had just gone to number 1. And we were playing New Rock and Nice, which is a really cool French festival. And I think the tour assistant was straightening her hair, and I decided to straighten my hair, which I'd never done. And on stage, my hair looked so weird, and that picture had stuck there for so long. And I tried to change it myself. Whenever I changed it, it'd get changed back by this person that had this picture. And it's like, I hate this picture. Why is this one? Why can't I not choose my own destiny here? So, yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this, mate.
That's all right.
It's been great. I hope the tour goes well, and I hope the best stuff sells really well for you, mate.
Yeah, we'll get out there and tour it.
That's our show. Thanks as always to our guests whose opinions are their own. Thanks also to Lorraine Long, Tony Perrin and Matt Bolton. Bye for now.